I don't know, but
No, you know what you need, Chantal? You need to get your butt out of the Middle East. You need to go back to Canada and you need to start living a life that isn't just a big scam. I mean, this is silly. You're going to be 40 years old. You're out here, I mean, following some 29-year-old thinking that he's going to love you and marry you and make a life with you and whatever. Girl, come on. He laughs at you. He makes fun of you. I mean, why do you think you're over there with him? Because you guys are living it up? I mean, yeah, you really look like you're living it up. You really look like you're happy. What you need to do is you need to go back to Canada. You need to start putting in hard work. And you need to, if a relationship is really what you want, if that's your end game in life, I know it is for some people. If that's really what you want, someone to love you, someone to call you baby, someone to give you affirmations, whatever. I mean, slow steps. I mean, whatever. Get on the dating apps, work on yourself, get back to a point where you can walk for more than a minute without getting dizzy. I mean, that would, if I were that in that place, that would be my number one priority. Not who's going to call me baby when I put my head down at night. I mean, girl, come on. I mean, you're not going to be able to heal in this environment, let alone thrive. You're talking about energy. You're sitting here telling us how you're about to fall asleep.
So you're getting help. And you want to dunk on Chantel? And that's why I think Shannon and FFG's chemistry is so beautiful, because they're so similar. FFG has to be the hero. That's why she has to always dunk on Chantel with something. Like when she did the thing with BBJ, I stand on this. She did her big one. She did her big one with that one, especially with the way Chantel was running her mouth, talking about FFG's dogs and all. When I saw her pull that off, I said, leave it to Chantel to have me applaud FFG. I was pissed. I was like, oh, this was so good. She trolled the fuck out of you. Oh my God. So, just so we're clear, and you heard it here first. What happened with BBJ, rescuing BBJ? The BBJ rescue to FFG will be with the 89 LBs are to Amber. You will always hear about it for years to come. Always. That's never going to die. She did her big one. She had to make it public. And for those saying, oh, it's for the money, I think you guys forget, I've said this before, multiple things can be right at once. She did her big one and definitely helped BBJ, because at this point, I think almost anybody's better than Chantel. But yes, of course it was for the money. If it wasn't for the money, she wouldn't have made it public. Of course it was for the money. Are you kidding? The bitch held a whole, she shopped for BBJ's collar on stream. She shopped for a cat to get a Gucci collar for a cat. Of course it was for money. But I'm not going to take away the fact that, like, at least she got BBJ. But yes, it was for money. Yes, it was for content. Are you crazy? That is her 89 LBs, bitch. She is never letting that go. That will always be content in some way.
Isms. So, French Fried Girls should be worried because Chantal was threatening to sue again. Shadowed that she might have returned to Canada to handle some other business, and she would handle that while she was there. I would be terrified if I was French Fried Girl. So terrified. This is the woman who couldn't even make a vet appointment, and she's going to coordinate a multi-person lawsuit because she felt duped about her cat being given to somebody else. By her to somebody else. But she couldn't tell you who because the selfish bitch wouldn't even walk down the stairs to go say bye. She handed it to Pete's. Again, many reasons we can't follow through with our commitments. So, and Chantal doesn't have much tolerance for distress or discomfort. If something isn't exactly the way she wants to eat it, she's not going to eat it. If it's not the right temperature, she's not going to eat it. So you would think someone as large as her would be much more picky. But, or would be much less picky. But actually, some of the more morbidly obese people I know are rather picky about their food. And, like other folks who deal with addiction, can get pretty nasty if they don't get what they want. How many people think that they've probably fought about food a couple times already? I'm sure he was fine with her coming over, but she farted out a bunch of promises initially that she was gonna, I'm gonna go to the gym and lose weight, and it'll be great, and I'll be going to the beach, and we'll be travel beezing. If you're too fat for a plane, you gotta do something. because now you can't even get out of there in a hurry if you need to. There's no shame in buying 2 plane seats if you need them, but if you don't like that you need them, or that you're cutting it close to needing them, whose job is it to change the shape of Chantal's body? Yours? Mine? A pill? Some Ozempic? No, it comes down to Chantal and what she chooses to do. At this point, she's had more resources and opportunities and access to treatment over the years that most people don't give a shit how she feels, or that she probably can't handle all of her ADLs maybe on her own, because she was always such a nasty, self-centered person that her discomfort brings people pleasure. We've heard of Schadenfreude. You know, it's the same sort of thing. I don't
So we saw some boats pass by while we were hanging out by the riverside and decided after we were done hanging out by the river to see if we could find a dock and take a boat ride ourselves. On our way,
it was his hard-earned money to try to buy her food that would support her health. And then either she ordered it without him, or he came to reason of, look, I don't love you so much that $250 isn't worth risking your health to me. So if you really love me, Chantal, really, really love me, you'll go on there, eat yourself half to death, and give me the cash. So, I don't know. And she wants privacy. Okay. And where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? He's out with the boys. Thailand, from what I understand, has a very, very active sex scene. So, I'm sure he'll text you. But at any rate, this week we're going to... But she's sitting there, not a lot of people around, but it was the old eyes darting. Remember the outhouse? Or going for Burger King and then sitting in the parking lot, full face of makeup, looking all over the place to see who's looking and who's watching. She's out proud and doesn't care, but hawks like she's ashamed of what she's engaging in. So when she's sitting there with Sala eating, and there's people, you know, not a lot of people, because they go everywhere when it's closed. She's afraid of people, and they want to be able to film, and they're weird. They're weird. She likes getting attention, but standing out doesn't really... Like, I think she probably feels like people are staring, because they are staring. It's a spectacle. She's 4 times the size of a normal woman. So I think people are going to stare. That shouldn't be unexpected. Is it rude? Is it cruel? I don't know. Bottom line, it shouldn't be unexpected. And to act shocked would be kind of stupid as well. You've read about it a little bit and saw it on TikTok. Please look better after yourself. Take better care of yourself. If not you, for your husband that you told us you loved so much. How much do you love him if you're willing to eat yourself to death because it's too difficult to try to get better beyond 36 hours? If you're not a 12-stepper, but the bondage of self. She's so obsessed with meeting her own wants and needs that she, to her inadvertently, steps on people and hurts people in that way. There's another side of Chantal that is a complete sociopath and pretty much doesn't care about feelings, doesn't know how to act. That's why we had the wedding cake and candles and she erupted like she was going to shit her pants, because she doesn't know what happiness feels like, so she doesn't demonstrate what it looks like. She doesn't know love. She doesn't know any of those feelings. And so with all this spinning in her head, her marriage on the line, her citizenship being up, she goes on a diet.
One, I'm pretty, okay? That has a lot, and I don't mean that to be conceited. I'm being very matter of fact. Being pretty gets you a lot of privilege. I'm just saying, you can get away with a lot if you're pretty. Number one, I'm pretty.
Okay, guys, so this is the trailer for Femme. It's been released in Europe, but it's out. It's a thriller, and I've seen it. It's a fantastic film. It is out in Spain, and it is out in the US on March the 22nd. So here is the trailer.
in his high heels. Where you go? Turn around if you're a fucking man.
You're letting them win.
How you want to deal with that?
I think you're a nice looking lad. On your front. I'm a nice guy. If you disrespect me, fuck you up.
I get that. Yeah, I'm the same.
Oh, you know. You a fucking big man. I best remember not to fuck with you then.
Hi guys, and welcome to Tailored Talk. So number one, I've added a new video effects package to my editor, so I'll just be trying them out. So if you see a lot of visual effects, it's just me trying them out throughout this video. Now, I'm quickly going to share my opinion on Foodie Beauty's constant use of the word goblin when it comes to FFG. I know that FFG has spoken about this in detail on her channel. I'll just put the thumbnail in here. Now, there are people throughout Foodie Beauty's time on YouTube. She's got a lot of enemies and a lot of victims, and some of them are intertwined. And I wanted to bring up a few of them and what she calls them to compared to what she calls FFG. Now, FFG had been offline for a few days when Foodie made the Goblin origin video, so no one knows why Foodie decided to bring this up. So firstly, one of her enemies that I'm going to talk about is Charlie Gold. Now, for simply being a reaction channel, Foodie, do you remember Foodie Beauty went on a 40-minute racist rant against her, saying that Charlie wore a wig, because she didn't believe that a black woman could naturally have straight hair. Charlie does. She said that Charlie looked like a criminal with the infamous "I know a criminal when I see one" line. She went as far as to call her Charlie Cole, and then Foodie defended it because Charlie's a dark-skinned woman and therefore it was okay to call her Cole. And in all the 40 minutes of racial slurs, she's never called Charlie a goblin. The only thing that she will call Charlie now is Fivehead, because, you know, according to Foodie, Charlie's got a big forehead, because she can't call her anything else because she'll get mass reported. She's never ever called Charlie a goblin. Moving on to Nada. Now, Foodie said that this was a man who physically and mentally abused her for months, that he used her for drugs, money and sex until Dee Dee came along. Foodie has called the police on him. She's made fun of his body, his teeth, called him a mummy that needs to go back to Egypt, said horrible things about his immigration status, but she's never called him a goblin. Nada, this man, she's never, look at this face, she has never called him a goblin or a gremlin. Ever. Never has she ever called Nada a goblin. I wonder why. We'll move on to Kybella, the woman that ruined what was left of Foodie's fake marriage. She's called Kybella a trashy whore, said that she was broke, said that she was ugly, but she's never called Kybella a goblin. And this was the woman that seduced her husband. This was the woman that exposed really disgusting text messages. She ruined their marriage online. She ruined their couples channel. She also put saucy pictures of him online without his consent. But Foodie has never called Kybella a goblin to describe her ugliness. Dee. I've chosen to talk about Dee last because Dee really is a victim of Foodie's. Foodie has put Dee through a lot. And in the beginning, Dee hadn't actually done or said anything wrong. Nader chose her. That was it. Hurt by Nader, Foodie would attack Dee constantly, saying that Dee looked like a man, implying that she was born a man, that she was ugly. She's doxed Dee's mother. She's encouraged her VIBs to harass Dee's mother in a care home. She got Dee fired from her job that she's had for over a decade. She talks about her looks constantly says that she looks like male celebrities. Like, she puts Dee. Foodie never stops to think about this, but she puts Dee in a really dangerous position when she implies that she's a transgender or transsexual woman. Because what if somebody, who is transphobic, what if somebody who is transphobic decides to find Dee and hurts her because they think that she was born a man? People are crazy, and it's not hard to find out where Dee lives. She posts online with Nader. It's not hard for somebody who's tech savvy to find out where she lives, somebody transphobic to find her and hurt her because Foodie had said that she's transgendered. She puts Dee in a lot. She puts Dee in a lot of danger. If they decide to go after her, it's Foodie's fault. So Foodie has talked about Dee's looks constantly, says how ugly she is, how much of a man she looks, but she has never called Dee a goblin on camera. And Dee allegedly took away the love of her life. Dee stole the man that got away, but she's never called Dee a goblin. All these disgusting things that she said about Dee's looks, she's never once called her a goblin or a gremlin or Slimer. It's just funny that out of all these people that have allegedly crossed or betrayed or hurt Foodie in the past, she's called most of them ugly. She's made fun of their bodies. She's made fun of their teeth. She's made fun of skin tone. She's called them, she has called them ugly and called them men or whatever, but she's never called any of her enemies goblins. Except for FFG, the only Jewish YouTuber. Not to mention that there's so many other things that can be said about FFG looks-wise and body-wise. And people do go off on her on Twitter. The fact that, she does have a huge face and a little body. The fact that she started her whole girl gang on a Spyet diet plan and has never showed her weigh-in. The fact that she'll go off on her girl gang if they question her about little things, and her girl gang has become her hug box. There's plenty of negative things that you can call FFG regarding her looks, but Foodie Beauty sticks with Goblin. Why is that? Because it's the safe way for her to be a bigot. It's the safe way for Foodie Beauty to be anti-Semitic, because she can always say, oh, it has a double meaning. It means a mythical creature. I didn't mean it the way you think I did. And she can continue to be a bigot and still be anti-Semitic. When you see a Jewish woman, Foodie, when you see FFG, and the first thing that comes to your mind is a slur, that makes you anti-Semitic. that makes you a bigot. And she's also put a thumbnail saying that FFG called DC media girl a goblin. Foodie, they are both Jewish women. What they say to each other is none of your business. And this is what Yo Mama, even though I can't stand the guy, this is what Yo Mama was talking about when he says that you are a privileged white woman who pretends to be oppressed while you shit on other people. You know, what has two Jewish women talking got to do with you in any way, shape or form? Why are you forcing yourself into FFG's business? You know, if you were a mature, sensible adult, you would have stopped using the word goblin a year ago. But you're a 14-year-old Regina George brat in a 400-pound body. So I don't expect any maturity from you, Foodie. You go after skin colour, race, religion, domestic violence, transphobia, homophobia. There's nothing that Foodie won't use as a slur. Foodie always goes as low as a toilet bowl, like Salah would know. Okay guys, that's the end of the video, just a short one today. I'll be covering the next one that she did with a day in Kuwait and the camel kicking her and stuff, and I'll cover that one later. That should be up in a bit. If you're still here, thank you for watching, thank you for listening.